Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well and having a fantastic week. In today's video, Chipfish and I are going to tell you how you can make sure that your birds are staying nice and safe and happy when you leave the house. Of course, if you're anxious like I am, you want to make sure that your birds are staying safe when you leave the house. You want to make sure that everything is set up for them to be happy until you get back home. So here are my top tips to make sure that your bird is staying safe and happy when you have to leave the house. Now my first tip, which is I guess a little bit controversial, but it shouldn't be, is to make sure that your bird is somewhere bird safe. So we always recommend having a nice big cage that has lots and lots of room, because we like to see bird cages as like their bedroom. There's lots of fun stuff for them to do, places to chill out, and there's lots and lots of space. Or if you have a bird room for them that's totally bird proof, that's amazing. Or even an aviary as well, that's awesome for them to stay in. But you want to make sure that they are in their own bird safe area, because there are so many different dangers in our homes. So if we let our birds just free roam in the house when we're out, there's a potential that they could get into some mischief, because if we know anything about our pet birds, if there's a danger, they will certainly try and find it. So we want to make sure that they are being well behaved and of course safe when we are out the house. So if they have their own designated space that we have bird proofed to the best of our ability, then they are going to be nice and happy, relaxing, foraging, and just generally living their best lives. So my next point kind of leads nicely on from this, and that's to make sure that you're checking bird toys and perches before you leave as well. So you want to make sure that everything is nice and secure, and also that there's no broken toy parts or anything like that. You want to make sure everything is good to go and as safe as it possibly can be. We don't want any wobbly perches that might fall down or any toys that may cause them harm when we are out. So it's always good, just once a day anyway, just to give your kind of bird's cage a good once over, making sure everything's nice and tight, everything's in position, and nothing needs to be replaced as well. The next way that you can make sure that your parrot is staying safe at home is by checking in with them via a pet camera. And I'm really excited because today's video is sponsored by PetCube, and they have very kindly sent me the PetCube cam to try out with the birds and get my thoughts on it. And to be honest, I am very impressed. Now, I've tried various different pet cameras in the past and they have not worked for me at all, but I'm really loving this one. So I thought I'd tell you a little bit about it today. Now, the PetCube cam is full HD, which is 1080p, which again is awesome because some other types of pet cams are a bit grainy, not so good, but this one is really high quality, so you can really see what is going on in the room and see what your birdies are up to. So the PetCube cam is actually really affordable compared to some of the other cameras on the market, and it was really quick to set up. I think it took me less than about 5 minutes to set up, which is a dream, because even though I'm a YouTuber, I'm a bit of a technophobe, so I'm not great with technology, but this was so easy, even I could do it, so I know you guys will be able to as well. Now, it's awesome because it has a wide angle lens. It's 160 degrees, which is great for us because of course we have lots of parrots here at BirdNerd HQ. So I can check in on all 8 of my parrots when I'm out of the house, and I can make sure that they are not getting up to mischief. The other cool thing as well is it has night vision mode. So again, you can check on the birds in the night, make sure that they're sleeping and they are behaving as well. And it also has 8 times digital zoom, and again, that can be quite tricky with some other pet cameras. They're not always the best quality, but I find that this is awesome. I can check in on all of the birds and make sure that they're okay. The other cool feature as well is it has a 2-way audio system. So if you want to talk to the birds when you're out, you can do that. And you can also listen in on them and make sure that they're not screaming, or maybe hear what they're up to when you are out of the house. So there's lots of audio options. You don't have to talk to them. You can turn either option off. And I think that's a really cool feature. The other cool thing as well is it has a pet detection mode, so it will record 30-second video clips and you can check in on what your parrots have been up to. So I also paid out my own money to sign up to their package, their subscription service, where you can get all of the videos saved of your birds and what they've been up to. But if you would like to get a PetCube cam of your own, they've very kindly given me a discount code for you guys to use, which is BirdNerd5. It'll be in the description with various links. You can go and check them out after this video. But I'd like to say a massive thank you to PetCube for sending me this camera. I've wanted to find a really good quality one for a while, and now I have, so I'm very happy about that because I'm always a little bit anxious when I leave the house and I want to make sure the birds are okay. So if you're anything like me, then you're going to want to go and check out PetCube. Now, the other thing that we want to do as well when we are leaving the house is making sure any other pets are safely away from our parrots, because although sometimes dogs and cats may be friendly with our birds, generally speaking I don't recommend mixing those kinds of pets with our birds, because one wrong move, one accident, and there is going to be a lot of trouble. And of course you don't want any other pets pestering your birds when you're out of the house. You don't necessarily know what they're up to, so make sure that those pets as well have their own designated space where they can be comfortable and resting or having lots of enrichment as well. But keep your dogs and cats and any other pets away from your birds, especially when you leave the house. Next up, we want to make sure that our birds have fresh food and water. We want to make sure they're nice and clean before we leave the house, because our birds sometimes have a tendency to poop in their water or cover it in feather dust or whatever it is, or maybe they're making a soup out of their food. We want to make sure that everything's nice and clean and kind of reset before we leave the house. And of course, making sure they've got fresh food. So if you feed fresh stuff in the morning, like vegetables and sprouts, that's awesome. And you can leave that in there until the afternoon, evening, and then swap it out for your dry mix, a little bit of seed or pellets if you choose to feed those as well. But just making sure they've got plenty of access to enough food for the time that you are out of the house. And my final tip is to make sure that the temperature is a safe temperature for your birds and that there are no drafts or breezes, because when there is a regular draft that your bird cannot escape from, that can potentially cause their body to come under stress, which can then potentially lead to health issues, which of course we want to avoid at all costs. We want our birds to be happy and healthy, so make sure you're not really leaving windows open and your bird is in direct kind of view of any breezes that are coming through. Make sure your bird's cage isn't necessarily right next to the window. Any fans, make sure they're not pointing directly onto your bird, and just generally making sure the house is either warm enough or cool enough depending on the temperature outside, so that everything is nice and comfortable for them as well. So that brings me to the end of the video. I'd love to know your tips for keeping your birds safe when you have to leave the house. Again, a massive thank you to PetCube for sending me that PetCube cam. I absolutely love it, and it gives me peace of mind that when I leave the house on the rare occasion that our birds are happy and healthy and enjoying their fun space. So don't forget to check out the links in the description and my discount code if you'd like to get a pet cam of your own. But in the meantime, Fish and I would like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope you're having an amazing day. Take care and see you later.